Hi everybody. I'm doing this vlog outside because it's beautiful outside. People are looking at me like I'm crazy. I originally was going to write about this, but for some reason I'm digging the vlogging these days. Some of you may have heard about this Cheerios commercial that involves a mixed race family. There's been a huge uproar about it. And I'm just really confused as to what's offensive about it. I didn't see anything wrong with the video. It's about being heart healthy, which is what Cheerios is all about. And I'm just confused as to why people are so upset over this commercial. I don't know where these people are from that are hating on this commercial. I'm Canadian. I'm from Saskatchewan. We're relatively conservative here. Let's say sheltered. We are sheltered here. You know, this place isn't Toronto. There's only 1 million people in the entire province. So it's relatively small. The variety is not huge. However, I see mixed race families every single day. I'm just confused as to why it's so shocking that a commercial would portray a mixed race family, because that's real life. People marry other people of other races. I didn't know this was shocking to people. I thought we have moved past from this idea that it's inappropriate, or that it's wrong, or that it's somehow demolishing certain races. I know someone that I know, I think their argument is, you know, well, eventually then everyone's going to be a mixed race, and like somehow that's a bad thing. Everyone should be free to be with whoever they want to be. Just because you have a certain skin color or you're from a certain culture shouldn't stop you from being with the one that you love. I personally don't ever see a reason for hate. I want you to logically explain to me how this can be hurtful for society. And some of the comments are just like absolutely wild, like completely irrational and just illogical. I did not realize that there's so many people out there that have such an issue with race and the idea that because you're a certain race gives you a certain amount of superiority. I'm a little nervous about doing this vlog in general, because I feel like, I don't want to say lots of the time, but Caucasian people maybe get judged for talking about race, like as if we shouldn't necessarily be allowed to talk about it because we don't have the same, or didn't go through the same things that maybe some other races did go through. I personally would ask that I'm not judged. I mean, you're going to judge me if you want to judge me, but this vlog is not about being judgmental of people who are against it or people who are for it. It's more of a, I just want some answers, because we all should be represented in media, because we're all a part of the same group. Just think, I work and at a house, and the neighbors are a mixed race family, and after I watched this commercial, I just thought, I wonder how those kids feel when they watch that commercial. I mean, it's not on TV, but if they ever saw it, they wouldn't think anything of it, because that's exactly what they live in every day. Their mom is Caucasian, their dad is African, and that's their life. And it's not offensive to them, and it shouldn't be offensive to other people. It upsets me to see the hate like that, because I think if race is still such a huge issue, then feminism should still be a huge issue, and women's rights, and I know that gay rights are still a huge issue. We're still in the process of creating that acceptance, whereas like civil rights and women's rights we're supposed to be past this. This is something that's already been, you know, we've overcome this. And so it's weird to see this and then have all these people respond, and I'm thinking, you know, I thought I was growing up in a world where things were only going to get better, that we weren't going to regress, we were only going to progress, and it seems like we are regressing. Hopefully in the future I'd like to be an activist for human rights. And I just feel like, how do we literally have to fight for the rest of our lives? It's just going to be constant fighting for peace. I'm here showing my face. I'm not scared to talk about this. I'm not afraid of people saying hateful things towards me, because I know that that's not logical. I'm not being hateful. I'm just putting how I feel out there in a way that's non-biased, or I'm trying to be non-biased. I don't want to judge anybody. Cannot tell how a person is by the way that they look. And that is a fact. It really is true that you cannot judge a book by its cover. And it's, again, it seems cliche, but it's not. It's true. And you can't even really judge someone for necessarily on their actions, because we all do bad things. We all do things that hurt people sometimes. There's not one person in this world that has never done something that didn't hurt themselves or didn't hurt somebody else. There's always been a time where you maybe did something that wasn't 1,000,000% positive. And that's okay. You know, you're allowed to make mistakes and you're allowed to not be judged by them. People can change. There may be times that someone might be horrible for, 30 years of their lives, and then something happens and they turn into this amazing person. I'm not saying you forgive them or you forget about all the horrible things that they did, but can you judge them on everything? I don't know. I don't know if you can, and I don't know if you should. Judgment and discrimination seem to be the root of a lot of things, a lot of negative things. And so I just really wish people would think about that next time they look at someone or they see something and they think right away, that's wrong. Or, I don't want to see my kids, I don't want my kids to see mixed race families on television. Well, your kid goes to school with mixed race families, and your kid goes to school with gay families, or kids that have gay parents, or parents that have gay kids. Your kids go to school with other kids that have different cultures and different traditions and different ideals and morals. And just because they are surrounded by things like that doesn't mean that those things rub off on your children. If anything, that kind of exposure promotes acceptance and understanding. I wish that the whole world was a mosaic, that everything could just be what it is and everything would be okay. And I get that that's probably never going to happen. We're never going to live in a euphoric society, because people won't stop hating for such silly things. The real problems in this world are not mixed race families. Real problems are things like poverty, discrimination, oppression, fear, violence. These are real problems. Governmental systems are, I think, a huge problem as well. I'm not saying this is probably not gonna change into some huge political blog, but the government sets up their country or their state or their province or their whatever to believe in a lot of this kind of stuff. And when you have a huge power telling you that this is the way you're supposed to think, it's hard not to think that way. Even in a liberal government system, there is still liberal people who are saying you must only think this way liberally. Well, you can't force someone to think your way. There's just so much greed and gluttony and want for everything, and nothing is about what we need anymore. It's all about how much more we can get. The news had some segments. They went over to a third world country. I'm not going to say the country because it doesn't matter what country it is. And they worked on helping some families out and helping some schools out, getting running water and things like that. And this man, they gave him a little bit of education in agriculture and how to farm his land more efficiently. And it made me cry because he said, I'm happy. And he said, I have land, I can grow food that I can sell, I can grow food that I can give my children. I now have enough money that I can send my children to school, and so they can have a good education and they can grow up. And it wasn't even grow up and leave the country, but they can grow up and be successful members of society. And he said he was grateful. And I just thought, I'm sitting here in my apartment with my roommate, with my iPad and my iPhone, and, a full fridge of food and money in my bank account. And I'm thinking, did I wake up this morning and say, oh, I'm so grateful for everything I have? No, I didn't. And I just felt like that guy is a hero. Just the fact that he can see that it's not about what you want, but about what you need. And what you need is really all that you need. You don't need anything else than what will sustain you. It's almost like, if I could use some type of metaphor, it's at some point when you're shooting heroin, you won't get any higher. At some point you die, because even though you think, oh, I'm still not high enough, I still want it, and you shoot up that one last time and you overdose because you didn't need anything else. I mean, you don't need heroin in the first place, but I'm trying to put it in layman's terms that want in a way is like a drug, and it doesn't lead to anything but failure and hate and negativity, and it's hard because obviously you want to be successful and stuff like that, but the idea of what success is has been modified. Success has been defined by making money and having a big house and having a fancy car and being able to give your kids everything. And that's not, to me personally, success is about being happy. If I can live a happy life and be loved and love other people and help other people, but also help myself and be a confident person and be proud of who I am, then to me that's being successful. It has no dollar amount on it. And, that doesn't mean that I have the best days all the time and I'm like, oh, my life's awesome. But, the fact is that I can think about that and realize, actually my life is good. I have a beautiful family and amazing friends, and I have a job that is extremely fulfilling, and I live in a place where I'm free to be who I want to be, and I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. I realize this blog has turned into something completely different than what it started out as. That's usually how these blogs go. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and obviously I can't stop you from writing hate, but I would hope that you could logically tell me something that makes you upset about this race or this Cheerios commercial, and how this idea that a Caucasian woman and a African American man cannot have a child, and how that child cannot want her dad to have a healthy heart, because that's all that commercial is. It's about a family and it's about being healthy, and it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. And Cheerios isn't trying to make a political statement. They're trying to make an inclusive statement in the sense that every family is different. And in 2013, these kinds of things should not be the issues. There's a lot worse things in the world, and we should really focus on them, because that's how we're going to make a better place for everybody. I realize I'm probably being really pretentious with my sunglasses on, but it's really bright outside. But here, my eyes, super bright. I probably could have done the blog without them. But anyway, that's all I had to say. Thanks for watching. Peace and love, guys. Spread it. Okay, bye.